Without further ado, Hamlet at Home.
Who's there? The time's out of joint.
How fares my lord?
Pours poison in his ear.
The king rises.
Give o'er the play! Give me some light!
Who's there?
Friends to this ground,
and the liegeman to the Dane.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What? Has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him. Therefore, I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night.
Tush, tush, will not appear.
Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears what we 2 nights have seen.
Peace, break thee off. Look, where it comes again.
In the same figure like the king that's dead.
Looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like. It harrows me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Question it, Horatio.
What art thou that usurps this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak!
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Speak! Speak! Stay and speak!
'Tis gone, and will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on't?
Before my eyes I might not disbelieve without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Looks it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself. This bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Good now, sit down and tell me why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, and with such daily cost of brazen cannon and implements of war. Who is that can inform me?
That can I. At least the whispers go so. Our last king was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway dared to the combat in which old valiant Hamlet did slay this Fortinbras, who by sealed compact did forfeit with his life all these his lands which fell to Denmark. Now, sir, young Fortinbras of unproved metal, hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway shut up a list of landless resolutes, but to recover those foresaid lands, so by his father lost. And this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations, the source of this our watch, and the chief head of this post-haste and rummage in the land. Oh, but soft! Behold where it comes again! I'll cross it, though it blast me. Stay, illusion! If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there is any good thing to be done that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy of thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing may avoid, oh, speak! Stay and speak! Stop it, Marcellus!
'Tis here!
'Tis here!
'Tis gone.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet, for upon my life, this spirit dumb to us will speak to him.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it is befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress of this warlike state, have we, with mirth in funeral and with dirge in marriage, taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone along with this affair, for all our thanks. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms. Now follows that you know young Fortinbras, thinking by our late dear brother's death, our state to be disjoint and out of frame, he hath not failed to pester us with message, importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father. So much for him. We have here writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who impotent and bedrid scarcely hears of this, his nephew's purpose. We here dispatch you, good Cornelius, and you, Voltiman, for bearing of this greeting to old Norway. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty.
In that and all things will we show our duty.
We doubt it nothing. Heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane and lose your voice. What wouldst thou beg, Laertes? The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
Dread my lord, your leave and favor to return to France, from whence, though willingly, I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation. Yet now I must confess that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again towards France, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Now take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces spended at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet and my son.
A little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much of the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy knightly color off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled eyes seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Ay, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam? Nay, it is, I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, no, nor the fruitful river in the eye that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passeth show. These but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these morning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father. That father lost his, we pray you. Throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart towards you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I prithee, stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark, madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling in my heart, in grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell.
Gertrude and Claudius drink, then kiss as the cannons fire. Polonius is most pleased.
Come away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his can against self-slaughter. Oh God, oh God. How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seems to me all the uses of this world. Fie on't. Oh, fie, fie. That it should come to this. But 2 months dead, nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king, must I remember. Why, she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what is fed on, and yet within a month? Let me not think on't. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month. Oh God, a beast that wants discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules, within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing of her galled eyes, she married, oh, most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. It break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I am glad to see you well. Horatio, or I do forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend. Marcellus, Bernardo.
My good lord.
I am very glad to see you. But what in faith make you from Wittenberg?
A truant disposition good, my lord.
I would not hear your enemies say so. But what is your affair at Elsinore? And we'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
Pray thee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. My father. Methinks I see my father.
Oh, where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw? Who?
My lord, the king, your father.
The king, my father?
2 nights together had these soldiers, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead waste and middle of the night, been thus encountered a figure like your father appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by, whilst they, bestilled almost to jelly with the act of fear, stand dumb and speak not to him. This to me in dreadful secrecy impart they did, and I with them the 3rd night kept the watch. The apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
But where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none. Yet once methought it lifted up its head and did address itself to motion, like as it would speak.
It is very strange.
The morning cock grew loud and vanished from our sight.
It is very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true.
Hold you the watch tonight?
We do, my lord.
He fixed his eyes upon you.
Most constantly.
Aye, would I had been there.
It would had much amazed you.
Very like. I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant you it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still, and whatsoever else shall hap tonight, give it an understanding but no tongue. I will requite your loves. So fare you well. Upon the platform twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty to your honor.
Your loves as mine to you. Farewell.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. For Hamlet and the trifling of his favors, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume, the suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more but so.
Think it no more. Perhaps he loves you now, but you must fear. His greatness weighed, his will is not his own, for on his choice depends the sanctity and health of the whole state. Then weigh what loss your honor may sustain, if with too credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia, fear it, my dear sister, and keep within the rear of your affection out of the shot and danger of desire.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But, good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst, like a puffed and reckless libertine himself, the primrose path of dalliance treads and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for there. My blessing with thee, and these few precepts. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thoughts his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. The friends thou hast, grapple them to thy soul, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each unhatched, unfledged comrade. Give every man thine ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit, as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you, go!
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is't, Ophelia, he hath said to you?
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Marry, well bethought. 'Tis told me he very hath of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous.
He hath, my
Between you, give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? Pugh! You speak like a green girl. Do you believe these tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby. Tender yourself more dearly, or you'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honorable fashion.
Aye, fashion you may call it. Go to.
And hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with all the vows of heaven.
Aye, springes to catch woodcocks. I do know when the blood burns how prodigal the soul gives the tongue vows. Now these blazes, daughter, you must not take for fire. For this time, daughter, be somewhat scanter of your maiden presence. For Lord Hamlet believes so much in him that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given you. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows. This is for all. Look to it, I charge you. Come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold.
It is a nipping and an eager air.
A cannon fires.
What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight, and as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle, drum, and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge.
Is it a custom?
Aye, marry is't, more honored in the breach than the observance. This heavy-headed revel east and west makes us traduced and taxed of other nations. They call us drunkard, and with swinish phrase soil our edition. And indeed it takes from our achievements, though performed at height, the pith and marrow of our attribute.
Look, my lord, it comes!
Angels and ministers of grace defend us! Yet, I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet. King? Father! Royal Dane, oh, answer me!
It beckons you to go away with it.
It waves you to a more removed ground. But do not go with it.
No, by no means.
It will not speak, then will I follow it.
Do not, my lord!
Why? What should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee, and for my soul, what can it do to that being a thing immortal as itself? It waves me forth again, I'll follow it.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff, and there assume some other horrible form, which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it!
It waves me still. Go on, I'll follow thee.
You shall not go!
Hold off your hands!
Be ruled!
You shall not go.
Unhand me, gentle friends! My fate cries out, I say, away. Go on. I'll follow thee.
To what issue will this come?
Heaven will direct it.
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Where wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house. I could a tale unfold whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres. List, Hamlet, oh list, if thou didst ever thy dear father love. Revenge is foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder?
Murder most foul, as in the best it is. But this most foul, strange and unnatural.
Haste, haste me to know it.
I find thee apt. Now, Hamlet, hear. It's given out that sleeping in mine orchard, a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know thou, noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul! Mine uncle!
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wits, with traitorous gifts, so to seduce one to the shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Oh, but soft methinks I scent the morning's air. Brief let me be. Sleeping within mine orchard, upon my secure hour, thy uncle stole with juice of cursed Hebanon in a vial, did pour the leprous distilment in the porches of mine ear, whose effect holds such an enmity with the blood of man, that swift as quicksilver it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, Queen at once dispatched. Cut off in the blossoms of my sin, no reckoning made, but sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns in her bosom to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near, and gins to pale its ineffectual fire. Adieu, adieu, Hamlet. Remember me.
Oh, all you hosts of heaven, hold my heart. Remember thee? Aye, thou poor ghost, whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee. Yea, from the table of my memory, I'll wipe away all trivial, fond records, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, my heaven! Oh, most pernicious woman. Oh, villain! Villain! Smiling, damned villain! That one may smile and be a villain. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word, it is adieu, adieu. Remember me. I have sworn.
My lord.
My lord!
Lord Hamlet!
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful!
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you will reveal it.
Not I, by heaven, my lord.
Nor I,
Nor I, my lord.
I'll say you then, you will be secret.
Aye,
Aye,
by heaven, my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an arrant knave.
There needs no ghost to tell us this.
It is an honest ghost, that let me tell you. For your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may, and now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is't, my lord, we will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Will not.
Nay, but swear't.
Swear!
Boy, say'st thou so? Art thou there? Come on, consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Swear!
Never to speak of this that you have seen.
Swear!
We swear!
Where?
Come hither, gentle friends.
Swear!
Well said, old mole. Canst work at the earth so fast.
Oh, day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
Therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here as before. Never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd some'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you at such time seeing me never shall give out that you know aught of me. This do swear.
Swear!
We swear.
Rest, perturbed spirit. The gentle friends, with all my love, I do commend me to you. Let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right.
Give him his money and these notes, Reynaldo.
I will, my lord.
You shall do marvelous wisely, good Reynaldo.
My
Now,
lord.
before you visit him, you make inquiry of his behavior.
My lord, I did intend it.
And finding by this encompassment and drift of question that they do know my son, and there put on him what forgeries you please, marry none so rank as may dishonor him. Take heed of that.
As gaming, my lord.
Aye, or drinking, fencing, swearing, quarreling, drabbing, you may go so far.
My lord, that would dishonor him.
Wherefore should you do this?
Aye, my lord, I would know that.
Marry, sir, here's my drift. Mark you your party in converse. Good sir, or so, or friend, or gentleman, according to the phrase and the addition, of man and country.
Very good, my lord.
And then, sir, does he this? Aye, he does. What was I about to say? I was about to say something. Where did I leave?
At friend or so and gentleman.
Aye, marry. He closes with you thus. I know the gentleman. I saw him yesterday, or t'other day, or then with such and such, and as you say, there was he gaming, there falling out at tennis, or perchance I saw him enter such a house of sale, a brothel, or so forth. See you now? Your bait of falsehood, by indirections find directions out.
I shall, my lord.
Farewell. Oh, now, Ophelia, what's the matter?
Alas, my lord, I have been so affrighted.
With what in the name of heaven?
My lord, as I was sewing in my chamber, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all embraced, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow he falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last a little shaking of mine arm he raised a sigh, so piteous and profound that it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go. And with his head thus over his shoulders turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went without their help, and to the last bended their light on me.
Come, go with me, I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love. What, have you given him any hard words as of late?
No, my good lord, but as you did command, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better speed and judgment I had not quoted him. I fear he did but trifle and meant to rack thee. Come, go we to the king. This must be known. Being kept close might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Something, have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? So call it. I entreat you both that being of so young days brought up with him, and sith so neighbor to his youth and havior, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court, to draw him unto pleasures, and to gather as so much as from occasions you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
Good, gentle friends, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am, if it will please you to expend your time with us a while, for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
We both obey. And here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our services freely at your feet to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. And I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go some of you and bring these gentlemen where Hamlet is.
heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Aye, amen.
The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned.
Thou hast been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? Assure you, my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God, one to my gracious king. And I do think that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that. That I do long to hear.
Give first admittance to the ambassadors. My news shall be the news to that great feast.
Thyself do grace to them and bring them in. He tells me, my sweet queen, he hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper.
Well, I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our hasty marriage.
Well, we shall sift him. Welcome, good friends. Say, Voltaman and Cornelius, what from our brother Norway?
Most fair return of greetings and desires. Upon our first, he sent out to suppress his nephew's levies, which to him appeared to be a preparation against the Polak. But, better looked into, he truly found that it was against your highness. Whereat grieved, he sent out arrest on Fortinbras, which he, in brief, obeys. Receives rebuke from Norway, and, in fine, makes vow before his uncle to never more give the essay of arms against your majesty.
For Arnold Norway gives him commission to employ these soldiers against the Polak, with an entreaty herein further shown that it might please you to give quiet pass through your dominions for his enterprise.
It likes us well, and at our more considered time, we'll read, answer, and think upon this business. Go to your rest. At night we'll feast together. Most welcome home.
This business is very well ended. My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night, night, and time is time, were nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness, what is't but to be nothing else but mad. But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. Perpend. I have a daughter, whilst she is mine, who in her duty and obedience mark, hath given me this. Now gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. That's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase. But you shall hear. Thus, in her excellent white bosom, these, etc.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Good madam, stay a while. I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars are fire. Doubt that the sun doth move. Doubt truth to be a liar. But never doubt I love. Oh, dear Ophelia, I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best, oh, most best, believe it. Adieu. Thine evermore most dear lady, Hamlet. This in obedience hath my daughter showed me.
But how hath she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a man, faithful and honorable.
Gladly I'd prove so. But what might you think, or my dear majesty, your queen here think, if I had given my heart a winking, mute and dumb, or looked upon this love with idle sight? What might you think? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress, thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star. This must not be. So she should lock herself from his resort, and thus receive no tokens. Which done, she took the fruit of my advice, and he repulsed. A short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence into a weakness, and by this declension into the madness whereon now he raves.
Do you think 'tis this?
Well, it may be very likely.
Hath there been such a time, I'd like to know, that I have positively said 'tis so, when it proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take this from this, if this be otherwise. If circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the center.
How may we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks for hours here in the lobby. At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind an arras then. Mark the encounter.
We will try it.
But look where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, I do beseech you, both away. I'll board him presently. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God mercy.
Do you know me, sir?
Excellent, excellent well. You're a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
Aye, sir. To be honest as this world goes is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breeds maggots in a dead dog, being a good kissing carrion. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk at the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to't.
How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter. Yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He is far gone. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words, words, words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean the matter you mean, my lord.
Slanders, sir, for the satirical slave says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit. All which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down, for you yourself, sir, should be as old as I am, if, like a crab, you could go backward.
Though this be but madness, yet there is method in't. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
Indeed, that is out of the air. My honorable lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything I will more willingly part withal, except my life. My life!
Fare you well, my lord.
These tedious old fools.
God save you, sir!
Mine honored lord.
My most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou build sir, no Rosencrantz? How do ye both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not over happy. On fortune's cap we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoe.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favor?
Faith, her privates we.
In the secret parts of fortune, oh, most true. What's the news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
And is doomsday near? But your news is not true. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
I thank you, and sure, dear friends. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, come. Nay, speak!
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. You were sent for. There is a kind confession in your looks. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
Oh, that you must teach me. But let me conjure you by rights of our fellowship, by the consonancy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love. Be even and direct with me whether you were sent for or no.
What say you?
If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercise, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet man delights not me. No, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what entertainment the players shall receive from you. We courted them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
What players are they?
Even those you were wont to take delight in, the tragedians of the city.
Flourish the players.
There are the players.
Friends, you are welcome to Elsinore. Your hands come. You are welcome. But my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad north-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Well be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you too. At each ear a hearer. That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouts.
Haply he is the second time come to them, for they say an old man is twice a child.
I will prophesy he comes to tell me of the players.
My lord, I have news to tell you. The actors are come hither, my lord. The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, pastoral comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, tragical, comical, historical, pastoral. These are them.
You're welcome, welcome all. Oh, I am glad to see thee well. Welcome, good friends. Why, old friend, thy face is valent since I saw thee last. What, my young lady? Masters, you are all welcome. We'll have a speech straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, an honest method, as wholesome as sweet. Let me see. 'Twas Aeneas' talk to Dido, when he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin.
Anon he finds him, striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command, unequal matched. Pyrrhus at Priam drives in rage, strikes wide, but with the whiffened wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. Then senseless Ilium,
Say on. Come to Hecuba.
but who, oh, who had seen the mobled queen?
Mobled queen?
That's good. Mobled queen is good.
But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus in malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs. The instant burst of clamor that she made would have made milk the burning eyes of heaven, and passion in the gods.
Look, he has tears in his eyes. I pray you no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest of this soon. Good my lord, will you see the players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstracts and the brief chronicles of the time.
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
God's bodkin man better. Use every man after his desert, and who should scape whipping? Take them in.
Come, thespians.
Follow him, friends. We'll have play tomorrow night. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play The Murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
We'll have tomorrow night. You could for a need study me a speech of some dozen or 16 lines which I would set down and insert it, could ye not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord, and look you, mock him not. My good friends. I'll leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsinore.
Good, my lord.
I say goodbye. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and all for nothing? For Hecuba? What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, can say nothing. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my pate across, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie of the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Swoons. I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall. A body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain! To vengeance! Dear, what an ass am I! Fie upon's about my brain! I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions, for murder still will speak. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape, yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you, by no drift of circumstance, get from him why he puts on this confusion with turbulent and dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof of his true state.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Did you essay him to a pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we are wrought on the way, of these we told him. It pleased him that they are about the court, and as I think they have already ordered this night to play before him.
'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentle friends, give him a further edge, and drive his purpose onto these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may there affront Ophelia, being unseen will judge, and gather by him as he is behaved, if to be the affliction of his love or no, that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey you. And to your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope that your good virtues will bring him to his wonted way again, to both your honors.
Madam, I wish it may.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please ye, we will bestow ourselves. I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep, to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would these fardels bear? To grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and lose the name of action. Soft you now. The fair Ophelia, nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have long and longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, I know right well you did, and with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. My lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
Means your lordship.
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty. I did love you. Once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. We are errant knaves all. Believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell!
Open, you sweet heavens!
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery, go, farewell. Or, if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery go, and quickly too, farewell.
Open, you sweet heavens!
Go to, I'll no more on't. It hath made me mad. I say, we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go.
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. Have I of ladies most deject and wretched that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled, out of tune and harsh. That unmatched formed feature of blown youth, now blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me to have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Love? His affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though lacked form a little, was not like madness. And I do doubt the hatch and disclose will be some danger, which, for to prevent, he shall wish speed to England. What think you on't?
It shall do well. But yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said, we heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his griefs. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed so, place you in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, to England send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently, for in the very torrent, tempest, and, as I say, the whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness.
I warrant your honor.
Be not too tame neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance, that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature. For anything so o'erdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end both at the first and now was and is to hold the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time his form and pressure. Now this overdone or come tardy off, though it make the unskillful laugh, it cannot but make the judicious grieve. Oh, there be players that I have seen play, and heard others praise, and that highly have so strutted and bellowed, I had thought some of nature's journeymen had made men. Not made them well, they imitated humanity so abominably.
I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, sir.
Oh, reform it altogether. Go make you ready. How now, my lord, will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen too, and that presently.
Bid the players make haste. Will you two help to hasten them?
We will, my lord.
We will, my lord.
What ho, Horatio?
Dear sweet lord, at your service.
Horatio, thou art e'en as just a man as e'er my conversation coped withal.
Oh, my dear lord.
And blessed are those whose blood and judgment are so well commeddled that they are not a pipe for fortune's finger to sound what stop she please. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, aye, in my heart of heart, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told thee of my father's death. Observe mine uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen, and my imaginations are as foul as Vulcan's stithy. Give him needful note, for I mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after we will both our judgments join to censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he steal aught the whilst this play is playing and 'scape detecting, I will pay the theft.
They are coming to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent, in faith. Of the chameleon's dish. I eat the air, promise crowned. You cannot feed capon so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine now. My lord, you played once at the university, you say?
That I did, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord, they stay upon your patience.
Come hither, good Hamlet, sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
Oh, do you mark that?
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
Well, that's a fair thought to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
No thing.
You are merry, my lord?
Who, I?
Aye, my lord.
Oh, God, you're only jig maker. For what else should a man do but be merry? For look you how cheerfully my mother looks. My father died within 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Then let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heavens, died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet? Then there's hope. A great man's memory may outlive his life half a year.
Enter the players with a dumb show of action.
What means this, my lord?
We shall know by this fellow. The players cannot keep counsel, they'll tell all.
Will it tell us what this show meant?
Aye, or any show that you will show him. Be not you ashamed to show? He'll not shame to tell you what it means.
You are not. But what's the play?
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing.
Is this the prologue or a posy of a ring?
Is this, my lord?
As woman's love.
Full 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round, Neptune's salt wash, and Hellas' orbed ground. Since love our hearts, and Hymen did our hands, night, so equal in most sacred bands.
But woe is me! You are so sick of late, so far from cheer and from your former state. Now, what my love is, proof hath made you know, and as my love is sighs, my fear is so. Where love is great, the littlest doubts are fear. Where little fears grow great, great love grows there.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operant powers their functions leave to thee. And thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and happily one as kind, or husband shalt thou.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second husband, let me be accursed. None wed the second, but who killed the first.
Wormwood, wormwood.
The instance is that second marriage move o'er base respects of thrift, but none of love. And second time I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
I do believe you think what now you speak. But what we do determine oft we break. What to ourselves in passion we propose, the passion ending doth the purpose lose. The world is not forever, nor 'tis not strange that even our loves with our fortunes change. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Nor earth to give me food, nor heaven light, sport and repose lock from me day and night. Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife. If once a widow, ever I be wife.
If she should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn, sweet. Leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady protests too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in't?
No, they do but jest. Poison in jest. No offense of the world.
What do you call the play?
A mousetrap. This play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the duke's name, his wife's Baptista. You shall see anon, 'tis a knavish piece of work. But what to that? Your Majesty and we that have free souls, it touches us not. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You are as good as a chorus, my lord.
I could interpret between you and your love if I could see the puppets dallying.
You are king, my lord, you are king.
It would cost you a groaning to take off my edge.
Still better and worse.
Begin, murderer. Leave thy damnable faces and begin.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit and time agreeing. Confederate season else no creature seeing, thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, thrice blasted, thrice infected, thy natural magic and dire property, unwholesome life usurp immediate.
He poisons him in the garden for his estate. His name's Gonzago. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises!
What, frightened with false fire?
What fares, my lord?
Give over the play!
Give me some light!
Light!
Lights!
Light!
Lights!
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 Oh, thus runs the world away. Didst perceive?
Welcome back from intermission, everyone. Cast, let's go ahead and get into places, please, for top of part 2.
Give me some light!
Lights!
Light!
Lights!
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 Oh, good Horatio, I'll take the ghost's word. Didst perceive?
Very well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning.
I did very well note him.
Oh, huh. Come, some music! Come, the recorders!
Good, my lord. Vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The king, sir,
Aye, sir, what of him?
is in his retirement marvelous distempered.
With drink, sir?
No, my lord. Rather, with choler?
Your wisdom should show itself more richer to signify this to his doctor.
Good, my lord, put your discourse into some frame, and start not so wildly from my affair.
I am tame, sir. Pronounce.
The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
You are welcome.
Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
So I do still by these pickers and stealers.
Good my lord, what is the cause of your distemper? You do freely bar at the door of your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
I lack advancement.
How can that be when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, but while the grass grows, the proverb is something musty. Oh, the recorder. Let me see. Now to withdraw with you. Why do you go about to recover the wind of me as if you would drive me into a toil?
O my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
It is as easy as lying. Govern these ventages with your finger and thumb, give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most excellent music. Look you, these are the stops.
I have not the skill.
Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. Why do you think that I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will. Though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me. Ah, God bless you, sir.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see that cloud? That's almost in shape like a camel.
By the mass, and it's like a camel indeed.
It thinks it is like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Like a whale?
Very like a whale.
Then will I come to my mother by and by. They fool me to the top of my bent. I will come by and by. Leave me, friends! 'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on. Soft now, to my mother. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none.
I like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore prepare you. I your commission will forthwith dispatch, and he to England shall along with you. The terms of our estate may not endure hazard so near us.
We will ourselves provide to keep those many, many bodies safe that live and feed upon your majesty.
Arm you, I pray you, to this speedy voyage, for we will fetters put upon this sphere, which now goes too free-footed.
We will
haste us.
My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind an arras, I'll convey myself to hear the process. Fare you well, my liege. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed and tell you what I know.
Thanks, dear my lord. Oh, my offense is rank. It hath the primal eldest curse upon't, a brother's murder. Pray, can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent? What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself in brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? My fault is past, but what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder? That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the fence? Try what repentance can, what can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? Help! Angels, make a say. Bow stubborn knees, and hearts with strings of steel be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now might I do it, Pat. Now he is praying, and now I'll do it, and so he goes to heaven, and so am I revenged? That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that, I, his sole son, do this same villain send to heaven? Why, this is base and silly, not revenge. Up, dagger, and know thou a more horrid hint when he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and his soul may be as damned and foul as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thought never to heaven go.
He will come straight. Look you lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace hath screened and stood between much heat and him. Pray you, be round.
I'll warrant you, fear me not.
Mother! Mother!
Withdraw, I hear him coming.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Oh, come, come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Have you not forgot me?
Nay, by the rood not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. But would you were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those to you that can speak.
Come, come, and sit you down. You shall not budge.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me.
What? Ho! Help! Help!
Help! A rat! Dead for a ducat! Dead!
Hamlet tackles Polonius through the curtain and stabs him multiple times.
Oh my, what hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
What a rash and bloody deed is this?
A bloody deed? Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
My lady, 'twas my word. Ah! Ah! Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool, farewell. I took thee for thy betters. Leave wringing of your hands, peace. Sit you down and let me wring your heart.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Look here upon this picture and on this. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband. Have you eyes? Huh? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age the heyday in the blood is tame. It's humble and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? What devil was that thus hath cozened you at Hoodman blind? Oh shame, where is thy blush?
O Hamlet, speak no more. Thou hast turned mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grey-knit spots as will not leave their taint.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love o'er the nasty sty?
Oh, speak to me no more. These words like daggers enter mine ears. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain! A slave that is not 20th part the tithe of your precedent, lord. A vice of kings, a king of shreds and patches!
No more!
Save me and hover o'er me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure?
Alas, he's mad.
Do you not come your tardy son to chide, that lapsed in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command? Oh, say!
This visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Well, alas, how's it with you? That you hold your eye on that you bend your eye on vacancy, and with their corporal air do hold discourse. O gentle son, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper, sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
On him! On him! Look you! Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effects to tears, perchance for blood.
To whom do you speak this?
Do you see nothing there?
No, nothing at all, yet all that is I see.
Or did you nothing hear?
No, nothing but ourselves.
Why, look you there! Look how he steals away, my father! Look where he goes!
This is the very coinage of your brain.
It is not madness that I have uttered, mother. For love of grace, lay not a flattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass, but my madness speaks. Confess yourself to heaven. Repent what's past. Avoid what is to come. Forgive me this, my virtue. For these days virtue itself a vice must pardon beg, yea, curb and woo for leave to do him good.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Good night, but go not to mine uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. Refrain tonight, and that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence. For this same Lord, I do repent. But heaven hath pleased thy so to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. So again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind. Thus bad begins, and worse remains behind.
What shall I do?
Not this, by no means that I bid you do. Let the blunt king tempt you again to bed, pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and let him for a pair of reechy kisses make you to ravel all this matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life yet to breathe what thou hast said to me.
I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night. Indeed, this counselor is now most still, most secret, and most grave, who was in life a foolish prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
Hamlet exits, dragging Polonius's body behind him.
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad as the wind and the sea's wind both contend which is the mightier. In his lawless fit, behind the arras, hearing something stir, he whips his dagger and cries, a rat, and in his brainish apprehension kills the unseen good old counselor.
Oh, heavy deed. It had been so with us had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all, to you, yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how shall this bloody deed be answered? It will be laid to us, whose providence should have kept short, restrained, and out of haunt this mad young man. But so much was our love, we would not understand what was most fit. Where's he gone?
To draw apart the body he hath killed. Weeps for what he has done.
Oh, Gertrude, come away. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will ship him hence. Friends, both go join you with some further aid. Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you, hasten this. Come, Gertrude. Oh, come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay.
Safely stowed.
Hamlet!
My lord Hamlet!
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 Done, my lord, with the dead body.
Compounded it with dust whereto 'tis kin.
My lord, you must tell us where it is, that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
Do not believe it.
Believe what?
That I can keep your counsel and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge, what replication should be made by the son of a king?
Taking me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, that soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities. When he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you, and sponge, you shall be dry again.
My lord, you must tell us where the body is and go with us to the king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing.
A thing, my lord?
Is nothing. Bring me to him.
Now, what hath befallen?
Where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him.
Now, Hamlet, where is Polonius?
At supper.
Oh, at supper. Where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of worms are eaten at him. We fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourself for maggots. A man may fish of the worm that hath eat of a king, and eat of the fish that hath...
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing, but to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Send thither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But indeed, if you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as ye go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He will stay till ye come.
Hamlet, this deed of thine for thine especial safety, which we do tender as we dearly grieve, for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is ready and everything at bent for England.
For England?
Aye, Hamlet.
Good. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
My mother. Father and mother is man and wife. Man and wife is one flesh. And so, my mother. Come for England.
Follow him at foot. Tempt him with speed abroad. Delay it not. I'll have him sent hence tonight. Away. For everything is sealed and done. And England, if my love thou hold'st at aught by letters congruing to that effect, the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England!
Go, captain. From me meet the Danish king. Tell him that by his license, Fortinbras craves a conveyance of his promised march over his kingdom. Go softly on.
Good officer, whose powers are these?
They are of Norway, sir.
How purposed, I pray you?
Against some part of Poland.
Who commands them?
The nephew to old Norway, Fortinbras.
Goes it against the main of Poland or for some frontier?
Truly to speak, we go to gain a patch of ground that hath in it no profit but the name. To pay 5 ducats, 5? I would not farm it, nor will it yield to Norway or the Pole a better rate, should it be sold in fee.
Why, then the Polack never will defend it.
Yes, it is already garrisoned.
I humbly thank you.
Would please you go, my lord?
I'll be with you straight. Go a little before. How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. Witness this army of such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, e'en for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I then? That have a father killed, a mother stained, and let all sleep, whilst to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, that for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot which is not tomb enough to hide the slain. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth.
Where's the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
Say you? Nay, pray you mark. He is dead and gone, lady, he is dead and gone. At his head a grass-green turf, at his heels a stone.
Nay, but Ophelia.
Brooding upon her father.
Oh, pray you, let's have no word of this. But when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning betime, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes and ducked the chamber door. Let in the maid that out the maid never departed more.
Pretty Ophelia.
Indeed. Without an oath I'll put an end on't. By gist and by Saint Charity, alack and fie for shame. Young men will do't if they come to't, by cock they are to blame. Quoth she, before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. He answers, so would I have done by yonder sun, if thou hadst not come to my bed.
How long hath she been thus?
I cannot choose but to weep to think they should lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it. Good night, ladies, good night, sweet ladies. Good night, good night.
Give her good watch, I pray you. Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death. Oh, Gertrude. Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. Poor Ophelia.
Alack, what noise is this?
What's the matter?
Save yourself, my lord. Young Laertes and a riotous head o'erbears your officers.
Give me my father!
Calmly, good Laertes.
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard!
Let him go, Gertrude. Tell me, Laertes, why thou art thus incensed. Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead.
But not by him.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell allegiance! I'll be revenged most thoroughly for my father.
Why, now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman. But I am guiltless of your father's death and am most sensibly in grief for it.
Oh, no. Oh, Rose of May. Dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. Hadst thou thy wits, and didst persuade revenge could not move thus.
They bore him there, faced on the bier, and on his grave rings many a tear. Fare thee well, my dove.
Hadst thou thy wits, and didst persuade revenge it could not move thus.
There's fennel for you, and columbines. There's rue for you, and here's some for me. We may call it herb of grace on Sundays. Oh, you must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I'd give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end. And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no, he is dead. Go to thy deathbed. Never will he come again. Goodbye.
Do you see this? Oh, God!
Laertes, I must commune with your grief. Be you content to lend your patience to us, and we shall jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure burial, that I must call in question.
And so you shall. And where the great axe is, and where the offense is, let the great axe fall. I pray you, go with me.
What are they that would speak with me?
Tell them, sir. They say they have letters for you.
God bless you, sir.
Let him bless thee too.
He shall, sir, and please him. There's a letter for you, sir. It comes from the ambassadors that was bound for England. If your name be Horatio, as I am led to know it is.
Horatio, give these sailors some means to the king. They have letters for him. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor. In the grapple I boarded them. In that instant they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. They have dealt with me like thieves of mercy, but they knew what they did. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much haste as thou wouldst fly death. These sailors will bring thee to where I am. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell. Hamlet. Come.
Now must your conscience my acquittance seal, and you must put me in your heart for friend. Sith you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that he which hath your noble father slain pursued my life.
It well appears. But tell me why you proceeded not against these feats, so crimeful and so capital in nature.
Oh, for two special reasons. The queen, his mother, lives almost by his looks. The other motive why to public count I might not go is the great love the general gender bear him.
And so have I a noble father lost, a sister driven to desperate terms, but my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps for that. You must not think that we are made of stuff so flat and dull that we can let ourselves be shook with danger and think it pastime. I loved your father, and we love ourselves, and that, I hope, will teach you to imagine that. How now? What news?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet. This to your majesty, and this to the queen.
From Hamlet, who brought them?
Sailors, my lord.
Laertes, you shall hear them. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall recounteth the occasions of my sudden and more strange return.
Know you the hand?
'Tis Hamlet's character, can you advise me?
Let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus didst thou.
If it be so, Laertes, will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord, so you'll not o'errule me to a peace.
To thine own peace. If he be now returned, I will work him to an exploit now ripe in my device, under the which he shall not choose but fall. And from his mother, and for his death no wind of blame shall breathe, but even his mother shall uncharge the practice and call it accident.
My lord, I will be ruled. Rather, if you could devise it so that I might be the organ.
It falls right. 2 months since, here was a gentleman of Normandy. He made confession of you and gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defense, and for your rapier most especial, that he cried out, 'Twould be a sight indeed if one could match you.
What out of this, my lord?
Laertes, was your father dear to you?
Why you ask this?
Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake to show yourself indeed your father's son more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church.
Revenge should have no bounds, but good Laertes. Hamlet returned, will put on those, shall praise your excellence, and set a double varnish on the fame the Frenchman gave you, bring you in fine together, and wager on your head, so that with ease or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a pass of practice requite him for your father.
My lord, I will do't. And for that purpose, I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction so mortal, where it draws blood, no cataplasm so rare can save the thing from death. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
This project should a back or a second have. I have it. When in your motion you are hot and dry, as make your bouts more violent to that end, and that he calls for a drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice, where upon sipping, if he by chance escaped, your venom stuck our purpose may hold there. Oh, how now, sweet queen?
One woe doth tread upon another's heels, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh, where?
There grows a willow askant a brook that shows its hoary leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she come of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples that liberal shepherds give a grosser name. But our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There upon the pendant boughs, her coronet weeds clambering to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down the weedy trophies and herself fell into the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide and mermaid-like. A while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes as someone incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with her drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas then, she is drowned.
Drowned. Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears. But yet it is our trick. Nature her custom holds, let shame say what it will. Adieu, my lord. I've a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly drowns it.
How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial that willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is, and therefore make her grave straight.
How can that be? Unless she drowned herself in her own defense?
Why, good man Gravedigger, 'tis found so.
But is this law?
Aye, marryest. 'Tis found so.
But if you had the truth on't, if this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out of Christian burial.
Why, there thou say'st.
Come, my spade. Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Aye, tell me that and unyoke.
Marry, now I can tell.
Toot!
Mass, I cannot tell.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it. And when you are asked this question next, say, a grave maker. The houses he makes last till doomsday. Go! Fetch me a stoop of liquor.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me, and you'll be left alone. Oh, baby, telephone and tell me I'm your own.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave's this, sir?
Mine, sir.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in't.
You lie out on't, sir. Therefore it is not yours. For my part, I do not lie in't, yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in't. To be in't and say 'tis thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick, therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
For no man, sir.
What woman then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in't?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead!
How absolute the knave is. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to that day our last king, Hamlet, o'ercame Fortinbras.
Aye, Mary, how long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was that very day young Hamlet was born. He that is mad and sent into England.
Why was he sent into England?
Why, because he is mad. He shall recover his wits there, or if he do not, it is no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him. There the men are as mad as he!
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Faithing with losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark!
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
The faith, if he be not rotten before he die, he will last you some 8 year or 9 year. Why, sir, here's a skull now.
I prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
That, my lord?
Does thou think Alexander looked all this fashion in the earth?
E'en so.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio? Alexander died. Alexander was buried. Alexander returneth to dust. Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth which kept the world in awe should patch a wall to expel the winter's flaw. But soft, aside, here comes the king.
The court enters in a funeral procession.
The queen, the courtiers. Who is that they follow? Couch we a while and mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful, and but that great command o'ersways the order, she should in ground unsanctified been lodged till the last trumpet.
Must there no more be done?
No more be done.
Lay her the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring.
What, the fair Ophelia?
Sweets to the sweet farewell. I hoped thou shouldst been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, and not have strewed thy grave.
Hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms.
What is he whose griefs bear such an emphasis? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Thou pray'st not well.
Laertes begins to choke Hamlet.
I pray thee, take thy fingers from my throat, for though I am not spleenative and rash, yet have I in me something dangerous, which let thy wisdom fear. Away thy hand!
Hamlet pushes Laertes away.
Hamlet? Hamlet?
My lord, be quiet.
I loved Ophelia! 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
For the love of God, forbear him!
Boons! Dost come here to whine? To outface me? What is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
I pray you, good Horatio, wait upon him. Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, set some watch over your son. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet thereby shall we see. Till then, in patience our proceeding be.
The coffin is lowered into the earth.
So much for this, sir. Now shall you see the other. You do remember all the circumstance.
Remember it, my lord.
Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Up from my cabin, my sea gown scarfed about me in the dark, I fingered their packet and withdrew to mine own room again, to unseal their grand commission, where I found, Horatio, oh, royal knavery, an exact command that on the reading it no leisure bated, no, not to stay the grinding of the axe, my head should be struck off.
Is't possible?
Here's the commission. Read it at more leisure. Being thus benetted round with villains, I sat me down, devised a new commission, and wrote it in fair hand. Now, Wilt thou know the effect of what I wrote?
Aye, my good lord.
But on the view and knowing of these contents, without debatement further, more or less, he should those bearers put to sudden death, no shriving time allowed.
How was this sealed?
Why, even in that was heaven ordinate. I had my father's signet in my purse.
So Guildenstern and Rosencrantz go to't.
Why, man, they did make love to this employment. They are not near my conscience.
Why, what a king is this?
Does it not, think'st thee, stand me now upon he that hath killed my king and whored my mother, popped in between the election and my hopes, thrown out his angle for my proper life, and with such cousinage, is not perfect conscience to quit him with this arm?
Tulu, your lordship is right welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir.
If your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
I will receive it with all diligence of spirit.
His majesty bade me signify to you that he hath laid a great wager on your head. Sir, this is the matter. You are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is with his rapier. The king hath laid then in a dozen passes between you and him. He shall not exceed you 3 hits.
Let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing, and the king holds his purpose. I will win for him if I can.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours.
My lord, you will lose this wager.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. I shall win at the odds.
Well, if your mind dislike anything, obey. I will forestall their repair hither and say that you are not fit.
No, not a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all.
Come, Hamlet, come and take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir, I've done you wrong. What I have done, I here proclaim was madness. Was Hamlet wronged, Laertes? Never Hamlet. Who does it then? His madness. If it be so, sir, in this audience let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts.
I am satisfied in nature, but in my terms of honor I stand aloof and will know reconcilement. But I do receive your offered love like love and will not wrong it.
I do embrace it freely, and will this brother's wager frankly play. Give us the foils. Come on.
Come on for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance, your skill shall like a star the darkest nightstick, fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir.
No, at this hand.
Give them the foils. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager.
Very well, my lord. Your grace hath laid the odds of the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both. If Hamlet gives the first or second hit, let all the battlements their ordnance fire. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath. Come, begin.
Come on, sir.
Come on, sir.
They play. Hamlet wins the first bout.
1.
No.
Judgment?
A hit. A very palpable hit.
Well, again.
Stay. Give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
I'll play this bout first. Set it by a while. Come.
They play. Hamlet wins the second bout.
Another hit. What say you?
Touch. A touch, I do confess.
Our son shall win.
Here's a napkin. Wipe thy brows. The queen carouses to your fortune, Hamlet.
Good madam.
Gertrude! Do not drink.
I shall, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
Come, let me wipe thy face.
My lord, I'll hit him now.
I do not hint.
Come, Laertes, for the third. You but dally. I pray you pass with your best violence. I am afeard you make a wanton of me.
Say you so? Come on.
They play again. The two have to be separated.
Nothing. Neither way.
Have at you now.
Laertes wounds Hamlet. In the scuffle, they exchange their rapiers.
Part them, they are incensed.
Nay, come again.
Hamlet wounds Laertes.
Look to the queen there. Whoa!
They bleed on both sides. How is't, my lord?
How is Laertes?
I am justly killed with mine own treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No, the drink. The drink. Oh, my dear Hamlet, the drink. I am poisoned.
Oh, villainy! How? Treachery! Seek it out!
It is here, Hamlet. Thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour of life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. Thy foul practice turned itself on me. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king's to blame.
Point envenomed too? Envenom to thy work!
Hamlet wounds Claudius.
Oh, yet defend me, friends, I am but hurt.
Here, thou murderous, incestuous, damned Dane, is thy union here? Follow my mother.
He is justly killed. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. Oh, wretched queen, adieu. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my causes right to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here's yet some liquor left.
Give me the cup. Let go, by heaven, I'll have it. Oh, good Horatio, what a wounded name shall I leave behind me? If thou livest, report me and my... If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart in this harsh world, draw thy breath in pain to tell my story.
There is a shout.
What warlike noise is this?
Young Fortinbras, with conquest come from Poland, to the ambassador of England gives this warlike volley.
Oh, I die, Horatio. The potent poison quite o'ercrows my spirit. But I do prophesy the crown lights on Fortinbras. He has my dying voice, so tell him. The rest is silence.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince. And flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
Where is this sight?
What is it ye would see? If aught of woe or wonder, cease your search.
This quarry cries on havoc. O proud death, what feast is toward in thine eternal cell? That thou so many princes that are shot, so bloodily hast struck.
The sight is dismal, and our affairs from England come too late. The ears are senseless that should give us hearing to tell him his commandment is fulfilled, that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Where should we have our thanks?
Not from his mouth, but let me speak to the yet unknowing world how all these things came about. All this can I truly deliver.
Let us haste to hear it. For me, with sorrow, I embrace my fortune. I have some rights of memory in this kingdom, which now to claim my vantage doth invite me. Such a sight as this becomes a field, but here shows much amiss. The time is out of joint. Give us some light.
Thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed the production. Please continue to stay safe. Please stay home, and please remember to keep washing your hands.